All right, guys, I'm at it again. Give y'all a little tour. Just rained real good this morning, enough to soak everything down. Good thing. Now I could shut my water off for, well, as long as I need to anyway, without my garden drying out. But look at that, y'all. I told y'all these are pole beans. We're gonna fill this space in. It's doing a pretty good job, to the point I gotta do something. Look at this. Just the sheer weight of those plants. They pulling it down. Look at that. Y'all see that? At least I hope y'all can anyway. Just by me pulling on this line just a little bit. So what I'm gonna have to do, gonna have to run me a string here, drive me a stake in the ground, do that same thing on both ends, just to support the weight of these plants growing up. I mean, I know the string and twine I have here is strong enough to hold it. It's just that, yeah, it's pulling the bed in. So, yeah, all right. That's a fix I got to take care of for have it ready for next season. But for now, yep, I'll run that line, pitch it like a tent. That way, it'll last for the season. And the fennel, look how the seeds are developing. Y'all see the difference in this versus, say, this one? See how more they developed? So I'm getting close. I'm getting there. Time to be harvesting my seeds. Get up on my Italian sausage making this season. Those sorry bell peppers I planted here. Well, they're looking pretty good. They green. I mean, they've never been topped out when they were young. That's probably how I ended up with them. But all right, look. Get in there close. I got some peppers forming. This one's real small. I doubt if you can see it, but both of them is starting to get ready to develop some peppers. That's cool. My experimental bed, it's coming out. Look at the size of that little cabbage plant I transplanted out here. It's not the greatest, but the plant itself is doing a lot better than when I first put it out here. And yeah, just fed my compost pile. I had a little more than I could handle. So I got all that dried up stuff right there. Well, it's not gonna go to waste. It's just gonna be brown portion, not green, because I got plenty of green at that stage. Look at those jalapenos, y'all. What a difference they have shown since I gave them a shot of super juice and put some compost in there. Look at these bad boys. Look how I opened that space up right here on the end. I might have to go ahead and stake up this marigold. Being bunched up and crowded, it made it grow leggy and whatnot. You see a big difference in that one and the one I'm about to show you in a little while on the other end. But what I've done, I conditioned this soil right here, at least this section of the bed anyway, of compost. And I planted a couple of things in there. I got some collards in there. Just rained, perfect. Good start for those seeds to be just planted. Butternut hanging in there. Looks like I got a little problem going on with them. After the video, I'll do further investigation and determine best course of action. But they're hanging in there. I like it. I like it. Come on around to this little harvest over here I just did. So I got a little small handful of field peas that I'm going to add to the other ones I took out. That's why you don't see that many on the plants, because I've been picking them. I don't want them to get too big. I want field pea size. Later in the season, I'll let some mature for seed. And decent bundle of lettuce. I'm sorry, that's not lettuce. Kale. I got a nice little bundle of giant red mustards there. I have the flowering parts where they started bolting. That's good as well. They're especially good in the salad because they're nice and spicy. And then I have these good old seed pods over here. I'm going to talk a little bit about those in a minute. Let's look at these peas. Cow peas, black-eyed peas, whatever terminology you're accustomed to. They're growing nicely. See a few blossoms coming out. Got some runners going on in here. I think they're going to produce pretty decent. And peas is one of many plants, whereas the more you pick them, the more they start to produce. So I still got some young peas here that I left behind, and I'll be coming back and picking them. Well, with all of this rain, I wouldn't be surprised if they'll be ready in 2 days. But look at this, y'all. And I've been showing this for a minute and not 100% sure if anybody really recognized it. Y'all see that? Yeah, that's an okra. And look, let's get in here. I got little okras forming. Same thing when that sucker's sitting up there. And I'll get in there in a minute and show y'all a closer look at that one. But look at this one lone cabbage. Yeah, man. Love it. And it's hard too. So that means it's developing real good. So what I'm finding that's working with my cabbage anyway, these outer leaves here, I've been picking them off. My theory in doing that seems to be working because every time I pick these off, the outer leaves, this bad boy grows ever so slightly. So I started doing it with these over here. And every now and again, I'll get my fat fingers in there and do a little squeeze. And they're hard. So, being that they've been starved for a considerable amount of time of direct sun, I think I'm going to have, what's that thing called? Brussels sprout size cabbage. And the same thing's going to hold true with this little guy I put over here. It's not that big, but it's hard as a rock. They're developing differently than how this big guy is over here. Because there was a time I could squeeze it and it feel spongy as if it's hollow inside. And it has firmed up considerably. So that's telling me something in terms of the best way to plant them out here in this desert. One, don't plant them out of season like I did. That's a fall crop I planted at the beginning in the spring. But doing a lot of experimenting out here. So with that being said, I learned some things. Let's get over here and check out this okra. Hope y'all can see that. See that? Got okra coming. So I might take this one, these two. I might take them out just to give it a little more sun so that it could shoot up above this canopy and do what it do. That was also an experiment. An experiment in terms of having an ability to utilize as much space as possible. And I'm finding with that is it's about timing. Some things I can't plant at the same time. To whereas my thoughts were by the time this squash would take off, the okra would be well above the canopy by then. But I forgot one vital thing about how okra grows. Slow in the beginning, and then it freaking takes off. And I think right now it's in its takeoff stage. But this little guy over here has me puzzled to the point that maybe it's more about the variety than the fact that they're slow starters. Because, well, look, this okra's not that tall. It's about up to my wrist. But, closer investigation, I got okra forming. That's kind of unusual for okra to form little okras at this size. So that's just me taking notes at the results of what I'm doing to how my plants are reacting. So now let's talk a little bit about those pods I showed y'all. They came off of my turnips, which is why they're still here and I haven't chopped them down yet. You see here how you got some nice juicy ones here. Matter of fact, let me grab one I already harvested. Give a comparison. There we go. All right. Yeah, they're kind of juicy, but not as juicy as the ones that I've harvested. Now, probably wondering, why did I harvest these? They're not ready. Well, they're not ready in terms of saving seed. Heck no, they're nowhere near ready for that. But as far as eating, they're perfect. They're plump, they're full, highly nutritious. You know anything about seeds? Seeds, they don't need anything outside of moisture, heat, and grow medium. You give a seed those things, it's going to grow without your help. Therefore, it's a clear indication that they are packed with nutrients, which is why I decided to save these seed pods for consumption. And being that the wind is the way it is out here, I'm kind of fearful until further experiment and investigation that they may be cross-pollinated, and I'm not going to get the same thing if I was to save those seeds and plant them. Just like what happened with big head zucchini over there. Okay, it's not a loss. I got some real good zucchini out of there. So it ain't a loss, but it's a something to make note of that you could use to your advantage or learn from it, not do it again if you want better results or expecting the results that you want. Yeah, I had to thin out these beets, and it seems I only got, let's see, 2, 4, 5 left. 6. Yeah, 6 left. So I'm gonna let them do what they do, see if I can get a little more growth out of them, and I'm gonna plant some more. They grow in a way that I got enough time to have a harvest if I was to plant some more within the next week. Well, before this week ends, I should say. And to show you one more thing in the garden, a good creature. Let's see if we can find him. Let's see if he's in the same spot he was in earlier. Where he at? There he is. He moved, but there he is. See if I can get a good shot on him. Hope he don't run. Come here. There he is. Got him. Y'all see that little guy? He's made this plant his home. It rained like a son of a gun 4 days this morning up to about maybe an hour ago. He hanging in there, dry and snug as a bug. He's made this plant his home. From what I can tell, this plant's giving him everything he needs. Look at that. Y'all see that leaf? How it's all chewed up? Well, that's his food source. And it's a pretty decent sized plant. So he got this whole bad boy as his playground. Look at that. This sweet potato doing its thing. I got a pup popped up since I had harvested the white potatoes out of it. I got another one coming up right here. And as I was digging in there, this sucker here shot a root way over about here somewhere. So we got a root system going there. So that's a good thing. I mean, I ain't gonna get no, nothing to harvest for consumption out of it. But what it's gonna do is give me something that I can use for next season's seeding. Yeah. I'm loving how these sunflowers are looking. I gotta do some research. My first time ever planting them. So, in addition to what I already know about the soil being of poor quality outside of my raised beds, I think what I'm gonna do some composting in place. At least that way I can concentrate where I need the nutrients instead of trying to, for example, here, come out off this fence, say 1.5 feet, 2 feet, the length of the whole fence, right? 360 degrees around the garden. This desert is not giving me enough organic material to do that in an effective way. So I've coming up with the idea that I got a sunflower at just about every post. Some of them didn't come up. And I don't want to waste a lot of seed trying to coerce and help something to grow in such poor soil quality. Whereas the resources needed to make that happen means my grow beds get less resources they need to produce something that's beneficial to me, which is crop. So instead of doing the whole entire thing at 1.5 feet, 2 foot off the fence, do pockets, concentrate in that pocket. I can produce enough nutrients to do that versus doing the whole thing. And building soil over time, that little pocket will eventually begin to grow with microbes. So at least that's the plan. I mean, there's still a little bit of issues that haven't been totally resolved in terms of me being able to have another season to grow out here, to even get that far in my soil development. But until then, I am going to do what I could do to get benefits from the time that I'm here. Transplanted marigolds, not bad, pretty good. I mean, of course, they would be better if they were in good soil, but something's better than nothing. Having roots in the soil is a good thing. Like these, which were the ones I just showed you, came from. See the difference? And these are not necessarily in the best soil, but the good thing that's going on with them is this. They're planted right there. At least that's where they voluntarily came up. So the nutrients that they're getting is what's being leached off my beds. This is one of the reasons why the majority of weeds that grow outside of my beds are growing right next to my beds, because they're leaching that nutrients. Or should I say they're gleaning the nutrients that's being leached off beds. So I'm trying to use these phenomenons to my advantage. Nice little cluster. Couple clusters. Look at that. These are yellow pear tomatoes. And I gotta get in here and do some pruning and some training. I got some stuff trying to lay down on the ground. I gotta take care of that. I gotta get rid of this sucker here, give it some more room, the airflow, sunshine, and let it do what it needs to do. But it's kind of a trade-off with wanting to collect these pods for consumption. This is why I went ahead and cut the flowers off the top of them, so that now they'll stop trying to grow more pod and develop the pods that's here. And hopefully that'll speed up the process to whereas I can go ahead and get them out of here and not, spend valuable time waiting for that process when I could have something in the ground developing, for a fall harvest. So at this point, guys, I feel like I'm babbling and my neighbor is starting to make a little more noise than I'd like to be bled over into my video. So I'm just going to go ahead and call it quits in this video, but not before I give you guys a quick overview. There we go. So now you kind of see my plan coming together. And this baby over here with the red top, yeah, that's my thief juice in the making. Cool beans. So take care, guys. Be safe. Love your gardens. They'll love you back. But if you pay attention to that, my new friend that decided to make the garden its home is an example of how nature comes to you when you plant a garden. And if I continue to grow sunflowers, which I plan to, how nature will stay with you. So if it reproduces, which I hope it does, and consider my grow space its natural habitat, then I'm going to have a natural defense system. It's the same thing with that frog I showed the other night. Yeah, they call their friends and come to this habitat. I don't need to be natural or otherwise mixing up solutions and whatnot to try to manage these pesky bugs. I got a defense system that's going to come and take care of it for me. And the beauty about that, I don't have to worry about populations getting out of control because that's just nature's way of doing things. It's going to control itself as far as population goes. So just another little layer of working with nature and letting her do the bulk of the heavy lifting. And you just take care of the six. Make sure, hey, the front's taken care of. All right, guys. Take care. I'm babbling on. Let me shut up. See y'all later.